Wizrockateers, she said in a serious voice, are bad. I think it's funny that this came up right at the 1-year anniversary of this channel, that we kind of reinvigorated it and brought it to a new level of discussion. So way to go with that, Amy. I've been thinking all week about what I'm going to say here, because everyone has made these amazing, eloquent videos discussing this, I don't know if it's a problem, but, you know, this issue. And I honestly don't have much to add to the discourse. You can't stop people from admiring other people. And I mean, like, it's not as though this hasn't been going on for a really long time. You know, at first, the big people in the fandom were the fanfic writers. Like, you know, certain fanfic writers were really popular and really well known, and then podcasts came along, and then, you know, all the kids over at Leaky and MuggleNet were these instant internet celebrities among our very small microcosm. And then Wizard Rock came along, and those kids, the top tier, got really popular, and now YouTube is here, and that is bringing in some Wizard Rockers, but also a different set of internet fame. I mean, it's been happening since this, I mean, like Amy, you were saying, you know, like there used to be a time where everything was happy and shiny and sparkly and new, but we've always done this. We can't not do this. And it's not that, you know, it's this giant it's that, you know, when someone comes up with something new and original, you're going to respect them for it. And we tend to get intimidated by people we respect. I mean, you know, when I first met Melissa, John, and Sue back in 2005, I got really super tongue-tied. You know, I couldn't help it. It's not a question of thinking that they're famous. It's a question of, you know what I mean? Apparently I can't even talk to you people anymore. I mean, as far as the points that have been made about vlogs being boring, I mean, you'll notice I just did a jump cut. I use YouTube in order to make videos. I'm interested in filmmaking, and I'm interested in entertaining other people, and that's why I use YouTube. That's why I'm glad I have Wizrockateers. I mean, it gives me a place where I can kind of vlog in that normal Dear Diary kind of way that I don't use my channel for. I mean, that's why I have a Twitter, you know? When I want to tell people, here's what I'm doing today, that's what I use. When I use I mean, you'll notice I haven't updated my personal channel in, like, a month and a half, because I use that for when I have specific creative ideas. So, I mean, that's just me. I like jump cuts. I think that they make things visually interesting. I mean, Matt brought up the point that, you know, that's not how people talk, and no, it's not, but who said that the internet has to be how people really talk? I think it's more entertaining and visually stimulating for me to be over here, and then over here, and then over here. This is a different medium than face-to-face communication, even though you see my face. It's still not the same, and it doesn't necessarily have to be treated as such. So anyway, that's my piece. I don't know. I know that Matt just uploaded another video, another response, and I haven't watched it yet, but after a week of this, I think, not that it's time to move on. I mean, I'm really glad that this stuff came up, and I think that it's important that we continue to think about it as things progress. Eh? I don't know. I'm ready to have fun again, and not be super serious face. Other things. Liz, I'm really surprised that you haven't heard of Watchmen, or hadn't until recently, because it's not obscure, it's kind of really well known. I mean, as you can see, it's listed as one of Time Magazine's 100 best novels. Not graphic novels, novels. I mean, Watchmen was written by Alan Moore, and it won the Hugo Award, and it's really super famous for bringing the medium of graphic novels into the mainstream in a serious way. It made people take graphic novels and comic books in general much more seriously. It's kind of this it's not exactly dystopian, it's just, it takes place in 1985 in a world where there have been superheroes, and the superheroes need to resurface, and it's a question of, you know, like, registration of people with powers, and it's a question of who gives you the authority to use those powers against other people, even in the question, even for the greater good. What is the greater good? Who gets to say what the greater good is? And since it takes place in 1985, it's got a lot to do with the Cold War, it's got a lot to do with international relations, and I mean, the theme is just, who watches the Watchmen, basically. Yeah, it's very well known, so... And I finished it, also. I liked it much better knowing how it ended, and seeing how all the pieces fit. When I was reading it, I wasn't really enjoying myself, but afterwards I could really appreciate it as a completed work. I don't know, I'm glad that I read it, but yeah, it's maybe not the feel-good hit of the year. I'm trying to figure out when it was first released, but it doesn't appear to say. It's up there with things that you should know about, so Liz, there you go. Right, so Amy, I will see you tomorrow, and I hope that you'll be in a bit of a happier, less anger at the world kind of a mood. But if you're angry, you know, it's worked for us before, so maybe we should just go with that. See you tomorrow. Love you, bye.